When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. This is The Son of Brainiac, part 15. Let's continue with our story where we last left off. How did your little chat go? Was most enlightening. I'm going to have to take your word for it. After all, I didn't hear any screams of pain or threats. So what do you plan to do, Deku? Got no work for you for the time being. We still have to deal with the Yakuzas. I have no doubt they're going to be a problem. I'll stick around and see how all things plays out. Don't worry. The Yakuza's time will come. The Yakuzas are all dead, they just don't realize it yet. You seem to be in a fairly good mood, young Master Deku. All my hard work is finally showing results. Scotch, please. Coming right up, Deku. When the glass was filled with scotch that was poured into the bar glass, Deku picked it up and began to sip every so often, enjoying the flavor of the scotch. As there was a knock on the door of the bar door, getting everyone's attention that was inside the room. So it finally begins. Deku clearly heard someone say from the outside about a pizza delivery. Then the doors of the wall of the bar was busted through by All Might himself. Immediately everyone was constricted with wood by one of the heroes known as Pro Hero Kami Woods, alongside Midnight Eraserhead and Mirako. Well, it seems like you heroes got us in quite the awkward position. All of the heroes noticed Deku wasn't bound by the wood. Midnight immediately tore off a piece of her suit and released some of her sleeping gas. Do it now. Deku's immune to my sleeping gas. Deku watched All Might and his favorite bunny hero charge forward. But suddenly, let's say this again. But suddenly, the hero stopped, feeling a very ominous feeling as a very familiar voice that All Might is well familiar with, can be heard. Well, it isn't my nemesis, All Might. As an image of All for One appeared in a large monitor in the bar. As All for One portaled into the bar, I believe it would be best for your well-being if you left this area, young Deku. As you wish, All for One. Deku opened a digital portal behind him and was ready to leave, but he saw Mirako charge forward, not missing her chance to take him down, only for Deku to have a grin on his face. All Might noticed that and tried to stop Mirko, but it was already too late. She ran into an open digital portal. As soon as she went through the strange portal, it closed. When Mirko finally understood what just happened, it was already too late. She is dropping from a high distance above a gothic-looking city. Mirko used her legs to slow her descent. When she got close enough to one of the buildings the walls of one of the buildings at least, and began to hop from one wall to another, slowing down her momentum little by little bit, until she finally skid to a stop in Crime Alley in Gotham City. What the hell? Where am I? This place doesn't look familiar. As her communicator is not working, she tried to call her agency that she worked at, with no reply. Where is she? What did you do to her, Deku? He smirked at the number one hero. There's nothing you can do about it, number one hero. Mirko is far out of any of you heroes' reach. I'll be taking my leave as Deku stepped backwards into the portal and disappearing. The first thing he did when he got back to the laboratory, he immediately mobilized his robotic army into the city while using their own cloaking devices. Deku contacted Dabi to begin to infiltrate his family's home and begin to withdraw his family from the planet by either using knockout gas that Deku made for him in the form of a grenade, or use Mr. Compress to use his quirk to capture members of his family. While Deku portaled back to the scene of the start of the battle, Deku could sense several members of the League scattered all about, while All Might and All For One are clashing with each other. Deku immediately teleported every one of his marks that he targeted for future amusements, except for Nejire. She wasn't on the battlefield. Deku teleported them to either Gotham City or Metropolis, just to spread them out a little bit. Deku hovered onto one of the top of the tallest buildings in the area, deactivating his cloaking power. Deku slowly become visible, standing on top of the roof of one of the tallest buildings, staring upon the battlefield, with his hands behind his back. I see it has finally begun. Indeed, it is. As Deku's continuously to watch the battle on street level, with his hands still behind his back, as All Might try his hardest to stop All For One, and All For One is trying his hardest to kill All Might. How pathetic, as Child stares down with a disgusted look on her face. As the fight between the number one hero and the number one villain continues. Stop this madness. We need to stop him before it's too late. For one with intrigue, with the remark, stop who? Deku, he's not what he seems. He's dangerous. All for one chuckled. You've never been one to use such tactics, but I'll play along. Why is Deku so dangerous? Just don't get it, all for one. He just appeared out of nowhere, and he's been working in the shadows this entire time. How do you truly know he's on your side, or anyone's side? All for one blasts All Might away with one of his wind quirks. All for one is no fool. He knows Deku is dangerous. But the young villain has been true to his word, to his knowledge. He has helped the League quite a bit. All for one has no desire to make a enemy out of Deku without a just cause. Shigaraki finally awoken from the hero's sleeping gas. He noticed his body was sore all over from being forcibly teleported with the rest of the members that were in the bar at the time. Shigaraki noticed two flying beams of energy passed by him and landed into the metal brace that's keeping Kirigiri's physical form stable. There was a light flash of green. Then there was nothing left but a scorch mark from the beams of energy that attacked Kirigiri, that engulfed Kirigiri completely, basically leaving nothing. Suddenly, Shigaraki's shadow began to move and change into shadow spikes, impelling his hands to the wall like he was crucified, with the similar shadow spikes piercing his feet as well. Deku appeared right in front of Shigaraki. Well, you found yourself in a difficult situation, my friend. Just get me out of here. Whoever is doing this, I'm gonna kill them. Before Shigaraki could react, Deku shot a black bone spike into his stomach, making Shigaraki scream out in pain. Deku grabbed Shigaraki by the face roughly and began to drain his life force into himself. I like your decay ability. I think I'll take it. It won't be exactly the same as yours, but it still have the same effect. Why, you bastard? Fucking traitor. I'm gonna kill you. Not even bothered by the traitor comment. You honestly think I was actually on your side? You, human. A equal? You a lower life form? Don't make me laugh. As she shot another spike into his stomach. A bone spike into his stomach. All draining his life force. Mentally command all his ground forces to begin the assault. Several Deku's creations appeared all over the city, attacking heroes, villains, and citizens alike. You're going to die. The heroes are going to die. The villains are going to die. Your entire species is going to die, except for a rare few. This entire world is going to die. You are all doomed. Don't worry, your sacrifice won't go in vain. With your life force, I'm even closer to my next evolution. You, friend Shigaraki. As he gave Shigaraki a vicious grin. Will use your decay power well. Fortunately, I won't be able to access it until my evolution, but once I do, the ability will be quite useful to me. Thank you, friend Shigaraki. Sensei will kill you, Deku. Unfortunately, no, he won't. He'll die, like everyone else, as Deku increased his ability to drain Shigaraki's life force. As he increased the rate of his absorbing his life force, leaving nothing of the decay villain but dust, Deku turned invisible and approached the major fight between All Might and All for One. Once he got close enough, he extended his hand outwards towards both hero and villain as a black bone spike shot out of his hand towards the hero and villain at the same time. Before the bone spike could impel both of them, All for One kicked All Might out of the way, making sure his nemesis doesn't die. He's only allowed to kill All Might. Then All for One used a wind quirk to make a wind dome over himself as the black bone spike ricochet off the wind into a nearby building. Impressive, All for One. I was hoping that wouldn't be enough to kill you. As Deku shut off his invisibility power, revealing himself to both hero and villain. Sorry about that, but I won't be assassinated so easily, youngster. All Might tried to interfere and charge at Deku. Deku saw him coming and sent the pro hero flying into several buildings with his telekinesis. You don't seem to be too surprised by my betrayal. I've always known you were going to betray me, betray the League at some point. But I got to say, you chose a perfect opportunity to try to murder me. And I'm going to have to take a wild guess. You already killed my apprentice. Indeed, Shigaraki is dead, alongside with his personal attendant, Gary. I completely eradicated his little neck bracer that keeps his body solid. Not sure if he's dead permanently, but he's off the board. He won't be any useful to you or anyone else for a while. That's a shame, but I can always get another apprentice. But I believe it's time I get rid of you, Deku. Get rid of you now. That I would like to see, All for One. Then allow me to oblige. All for One teleported right behind Deku. Deku saw it coming, without looking, and shot out a blast of green energy out of his hand at All for One, without even looking back, sending the villain skidding backwards. You know, you know you're only making this more painful for yourself. If you simply just die, you will feel much less pain and suffering. That way, human. The sinking feeling, all for one, you're going to be an annoying opponent to deal with. You're most likely the survivor type. What can I say? I'm hard to kill. Detroit Smash, as All Might managed to land a solid hit on Deku, sending him flying backwards. Deku removed his body in mid-flight and did a solid flip and land on his feet as Deku skid backwards to a stop. Almost forgot about you, All Might. Deku rubbed the side of his face where he was struck by a Detroit Smash from All Might. Once the dirt was off his face, Deku begins to move forward towards both of his opponents. Deku's green eyes begin to glow ominously as he approached the two pro-hero and villain. Deku suddenly appeared and slammed a powerful smash of his own into All Might's face, sending the pro-hero flying backwards like a rocket into several more buildings. All for One blast fire at Deku. Deku simple finger flicked the air, creating a gust of wind, dissipating the fire before he could even get halfway towards Deku. My turn. Deku extended his hand and arm outwards, his palm extended towards All for One, as green electricity begins to emanate off of the palm of his hand and Deku's arm. Deku suddenly shot out a green bolt of green electricity in rapid succession from the palm of his hand, making All for One try to evade or block any of the green electric attacks. Deku appeared right in front of All for One as Deku slammed an electric palm strike into his chest, making All for One go fly into a nearby building, crashing through the brick wall. Deku instantly stopped. Another Detroit Smash came towards him. Deku stopped the attack with the palm of his hand. As the Detroit Smash came from behind him, creating a gust of wind pressure when he blocked a devastating attack from the number one hero. I haven't forgot about you, number one. Deku hit All Might in the chest with a green heat vision, making the number one hero go flying backwards until he skid to a stop. All for One changed his right arm into some sort of black metal energy cannon and aimed it at Deku as a black beam of energy shot towards Deku with insane speed basically. Deku, sensing the incoming energy attack, stopped the momentum of the beam with his hand. Deku is slowly overpowering the black energy beam by pushing it back with his bare hands. When he pushed the beam of energy a little bit further, then he began to absorb it into his body. Once he absorbed every bit of it, Deku shot the same energy that he just absorbed out of his mouth in a black beam of energy, overtaking All for One. When the beam receded, you could see a heavily injured All-For-One, who was recovering in rapid succession by using one of his regeneration quirks. I got to admit, that last quirk you tried to attack on me was most impressive, quite powerful, judging by the energy output by that singular beam of energy that I just absorbed and released it right back at you. All-For-One cackled as All-For-One is completely healed. It's one of my many quirks that I combined into one. I can see how you gained your reputation. And knowing that, you're still challenging me. It doesn't matter what you do, you will die. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you heroes do, they will die. It doesn't matter what your pathetic species do, majority of them will die. No one's going to save you. No one's coming to your aid. Your lambs to the slaughter. The Green Lanterns can't help you. The Guardians can't help you. There is no happy ending for your species. The only question is, which one of you I will kill first? As All Might finally recovered, all three opponents begin to face each other off, waiting for the first move to initiate the next clash between the three titans. Naturally, All-For-One was the first one to act. He turned both of his arms into the same beam cannons he used earlier on Deku. All Might managed to dodge out of the way by leaping backwards. Deku, on the other hand, slapped the beam of energy out of the way with the back of the palm of his hand. By this time, during the battle, several news agencies has already set out their news helicopters in the sky, broadcasting the three-way fight live. Of course, Deku was fully aware of their presence. Everything has been set in motion. He wants the world to watch when he kills All-For-One and All Might on a live broadcast that's being sent worldwide. Deku began to flicker, then he disappeared, then he reappeared into an uppercut right under the chin, then spin around and proceed to spin kick, hitting All-For-One across the face, sending the villain skidding backwards. Deku rushed forward towards All-For-One and slammed his elbow into his stomach, sending All-For-One even further. Deku spin around, rush towards All Might, and dodge a incoming smash. Then Deku got under All Might's guard and land a rapid succession of punches across the number one hero's body. Then Deku kicked All Might away with a spinning jump kick. Sending the pro hero into a nearby fire hydrant. As the water began to spray from the fire hydrant being unsealed by All Might flying into it. As water began to spray all over the street, Deku immediately shot electricity towards the water, electrifying All Might, temporarily paralyzing him for the time being. Deku stopped a humongous robotic-looking fist with one hand and kicked a huge fist away with his foot, making All for One unbalanced, as Deku charged forward and slammed his fist in the middle of the helmet of All for One. As the helmet shattered, as All for One's face was revealed. A second later, All for One was sent flying into a car. Deku shot out a huge green fireball towards All for One, igniting the car once the fireball made contact, as there was a huge explosion. All the nearby heroes that are in the area that aren't high-ranking are cowering in fear of the brutal display from the villain named Deku. Meanwhile, Child is watching the battle very closely. She knows Deku could easily kill these two humans easily, but for some reason Deku likes to play with his opponents before he lands the finishing blow. But it is also the perfect opportunity to see her anchor or familiar in action, in actual combat. Though he's fighting against mere humans. Deku noticed a burst of blue fire in the distance, deeper into the city, as Dabi by this time has finally encountered his father. Deku refocused his attention towards his two opponents that are slowly getting back up to their feet. All Might looks like he would kill over at any second. All for One might look okay, but he's clearly breathing heavy. As Deku created a dozen large green hundreds basically, large green fireballs in the middle of the air, surrounding All Might and All for One. Let's see you handle this. The moment Deku snapped his fingers, the hundreds of large fireballs rained down upon the number one hero, All Might, and One for All. Pro-hero and villain try to evade the large green fireballs that explode on impact, as dozen green explosions can be seen scattered all around the battlefield. As you can see, green explosions leveling areas of the battlefield, destroying all the nearby buildings, leaving this part of the city like a complete wasteland. When the explosions receded, the part of the city that the fight was taking part of was completely destroyed, looking like a wasteland with half-destroyed buildings and burned metal from the cars that were in the area. All Might is coughing up blood, kneeling to one knee, breathing heavy, as his hero suit is tore all over. All for One isn't faring any better. He's barely on his feet, breathing heavy, as his regeneration quirk is trying to repair all of the internal damage that All for One received from the barrage of exploding green fireballs. Don't you finally get it? As Deku extended both his hands outwards. What feeble resistance you humans are capable of is completely pointless. There won't be no hero appearing and conquer evil this day. I have already won. As a humongous metal skull spaceship come bursting out of the clouds, lurking over the city. Time to officially begin the invasion With one snap of his fingers, the Skull mothership began to shoot down brainiac bots after brainiac bots scattered all over the city, adding more numbers to his forces that are already in the city already. Deku moved so fast that All Might and All for One couldn't react as he pierced both of his hands through both of their chests, grabbing his palms over their hearts. It's over. I win. You played well, but you lost our little game. Now it's time for you to die. As he rapidly began to absorb their life force, slowly draining their life away until there was nothing left but ash, only leaving their clothes behind. Deku immediately released the Dragon Core units, robotic dragons, only meant for one purpose: destruction. As they're flying over down around different cities, causing havoc. As his mothership go around shrinking cities that Deku's target to be collected, Deku teleported himself to his mothership that is currently hovering over the city. The one city he can't shrink just yet. Can't shrink the city that he was in earlier, not just yet. He has some unfinished business with the Yakuzas, and he needs to find Nejire, the successor of the #1 hero. He could easily locate her, but that would be no fun. He'll let them build a resistance, then he'll crush them. Deku ordered his brainiac bot to begin siphoning this planet's natural resources. As he officially begins to construct factories to do so, it's all across Japan, and the world. It's just going to take some time to do so. This is not happening just in Japan. This is happening worldwide. A worldwide invasion is occurring. You've been quite busy, Deku. Deku turned around to see a familiar face. It's quite impressive you managed to get on board of my mothership, undetected. He slightly narrowed his eyes at the god, basically the new god, with suspicion. It's a natural reaction. There were several holes in your security. I just exploited them, that's all. You should probably get that patched up. Who knows who might pay you a visit? Gave Deku a smirk. Keep that in mind when I go over my security. At a later time. I hope you're not here to get in my way. I don't plan to. It's none of my business what you do here. I do want a rematch. I don't like how we left off on our last fight. I don't like leaving battles in ties. Me and my companion will be leaving this planet. Just wanted to say my farewells. Next time we meet, I will defeat you. I will grind you into the ground. You get that? I look forward to that battle, Yuri. Yuri grabbed him by the collar of his battle suit. Deku is wearing what he was wearing in the picture. So basically what he's wearing. She grabbed him by the collar of his battle suit. You better not lose in the meantime. I'm the only one allowed to defeat you. As she let go, Yuri immediately began to fly out of the mothership, saying her piece. The brainiac bot appeared. Master, should we eliminate the intruder? Let her go. You wouldn't be able to stop her anyways. There's still much work to do. I suggest you get to it. As Deku calmly walked away and sat down onto his black metal throne. Just you wait, Overhaul. Your death will be something to remember. I've been far too soft on these humans. No longer I'll be using the kitty gloves on these lower life forms. As Deku's green eyes begin to glow a bright green color, only thing you can see in the dark bridge of the mothership is Deku's ominous glowing emerald green eyes. That's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.